Albert Leornes Greene, better known by his stage name Al Green, is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, pastor, and best known for a string of soul hit singles recorded in the early 1970s, including Take Me to the River, Tired of Being Alone, I'm Still in Love with You, Love and Happiness, and his signature song, Let's Stay Together. After his companion committed suicide, Greene accepted gospel music and was ordained as a preacher. He returned to recording secular music later on. In 1995, Greene received his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was described as one of the most gifted purveyors of soul music on the website of the museum. The phrase, the last of the great soul singers, has also been applied to him. 11 Grammy Awards, including the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, have been given to Greene. In addition, he has been honored with the Kennedy Center Honors and the BMI Icon Award. In Rolling Stone's list of the 200 greatest singers of all time, he was ranked number 10, and in its list of the 100 greatest artists of all time, he was ranked number 65. Early life. On April 13, 1946, in Forest City, Arkansas, Coralie and sharecropper Robert G. Greene Jr. welcomed Albert Leornes Greene into the world as the sixth of their 10 children. Al started playing in a group named the Greene Brothers with his sister when he was about 10 years old. The Greene family moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the late 1950s. Al was expelled from the family home when he was still a teenager because his deeply religious father had found him listening to Jackie Wilson. After that, he started living with a prostitute, hustled, and used narcotics recreationally. I listened to all of the great gospel singers, including Mahalia Jackson. However, Wilson Pickett and Elvis Presley, those hip-shaking boys, were the music that meant the most to me. I was a huge fan of Elvis Presley when I was 13. I went out and bought whatever it was he had. Al Green and the Creations was a vocal group he founded in high school. Curtis Rogers and Palmer James, two of the group's members, started Hotline Music Journal, an independent record company. After rebranding as Al Green and the Soul Mates in 1966, they recorded Backup Train and put it out on Hotline Music. The song peaked at number 46 in the Cashbox Top 100 and was a smash on the R&B charts. However, the group's following follow-ups failed to chart, as did their debut album Backup Train. Greene met Memphis record producer Willie Mitchell while playing with the Soul Mates, and Mitchell's band hired him as a vocalist for a Texas gig in 1969. Mitchell urged Greene to sign with his High Records label after the show. Career and early success. Upon observing that Greene was attempting to sing in the style of James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, Wilson Pickett, and others, Mitchell took on the role of vocal mentor, helping him discover his own style. Greene dropped the last E from his name before to the release of his debut album through High Records. Greene is Blues, 1969, his follow-up album, was a moderate hit. The popular R&B rendition of The Temptations', I Can't Get Next to You, was recorded in a slow, blues-oriented approach for his follow-up album, Al Green Gets Next to You, 1971. The album also had his first big success, Tired of Being Alone, which became the first of 8 gold singles that Greene would release between 1971 and 1974 after selling 1 million copies and earning a gold certification. Greene's next album, Let's Stay Together, January 1972, secured his place in soul music. His biggest hit to date, the title track, peaked at number 1 on the R&B and Billboard Hot 100 charts. It was his first album to receive a gold certification. With the support of the songs, Look What You Done For Me, and the title track, which both reached the top 10 on the Hot 100, his follow-up album, I'm Still in Love with You, October 1972, went platinum. His following album, Call Me, April 1973, featured 3 top 10 singles, You Ought to Be With Me, Call Me, Come Back Home, and Here I Am, Come and Take Me. Apart from these successful singles, Greene's repertoire included hits like Love and Happiness, Simply Beautiful, What a Wonderful Thing Love Is, and his rendition of the Bee Gees' How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, which was later successfully covered by Talking Heads, a new wave band, and blues musician Syl Johnson. Greene received a gold certification for his December 1973 album Livin' For You, 16. Over the next few years, he recorded other big R&B hits, such as Let's Get Married, Love, Love, Livin' For You, and Shalala, Makes Me Happy, from his album Al Green Explores Your Mind. Greene's desire to become a minister and personal problems at this period contributed to his record sales plummeting by the time he published the Bell album in 1977. Truth and Time, his final High Records album, was released in 1978 but did not make it into the top 40 charts. Gospel recordings. As he kept releasing R&B records, Greene noticed a decline in his sales and received negative feedback from reviewers. He saw his injuries from falling off the stage during a Cincinnati show in 1979 as a sign from God. Subsequently, he focused his efforts on leading his church and creating gospel music. From 1981 to 1989, Greene recorded a series of gospel albums. Greene's first of 6 albums on the Christian label Myrrh Records, The Lord Will Make a Way, was released in 1980 while he was still signed to High Records. Greene went on to win his first of 8 Grammy Awards in the Best Soul Gospel Performance category with the album's title track. Greene and Patti LaBelle co-starred in the Broadway production of Your Arms Too Short to Box with God in 1982. The documentary film Gospel According to Al Green, directed by Robert Muggy, was produced in 1984. It featured video from his congregation and interviews with Greene about his life. He and Willie Mitchell came back together in 1985 to record his debut album for A&M Records, He Is the Light. The minor success Everything's Gonna Be Alright, from his 1987 follow-up album Soul Survivor peaked at number 22 on the Billboard R&B chart, becoming his first top 40 R&B hit since 1978's I Feel Good. When Greene and Annie Lennox recorded Put a Little Love in Your Heart in 1988, they made a comeback to secular music. The song, which debuted on the Scrooged album, became Greene's first top 10 mainstream success since 1974. With producer Arthur Baker, Greene's song The Message Is Love became a smash in 1989. He recorded the theme song for the brief television program Good Sports 2 years later. Don't Look Back, his album, was released in 1993 when he signed with RCA and worked with Baker once more as producer. For his work on the duet Funny How Time Slips Away with Lyle Lovett, Greene was awarded his 10th Grammy. Around the time when Greene was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995, his album Your Heart's in Good Hands was released. Keep On Pushing Love, the only single to be released from the album, was praised for invoking the original, sparse sound of his, Greene's, early classics. Greene's autobiography, Take Me to the River, was published in 2000. 2 years later, he had a successful R&B duet with Ann Nesby on the song Put It on Paper, and received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. For the album I Can't Stop in 2003, Greene and Willie Mitchell got back together once more. After a year, Greene and Queen Latifah re-recorded Simply Beautiful for the latter's album, the Dana Owens album. Mitchell and Greene worked together on Everything's Okay in 2005. Greene's autobiography, Take Me to the River, was published in 2000. 2 years later, he had a successful R&B duet with Ann Nesby on the song Put It on Paper, and received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. For the album I Can't Stop in 2003, Greene and Willie Mitchell got back together once more. After a year, Greene and Queen Latifah re-recorded Simply Beautiful for the latter's album, the Dana Owens album. Mitchell and Greene worked together on Everything's Okay in 2005. Together with Heather Headley, Greene recorded People Get Ready for the 2009 album Oh Happy Day, an all-star music celebration. Greene sang Let's Stay Together with Jules Holland on Later, in 2010. On September 13, 2018, Al Green, whose 1975 rendition of Before the Next Teardrop Falls was most notably covered by Freddie Fender, released his first new album in nearly a decade. It is a part of the new, produced by, series on Amazon Music and was produced by Matt Ross Spang. Personal life. Mary Woodson, Greene's lover, attacked him on October 18, 1974, and later committed suicide at his Memphis home. Although unaware to Greene she was already married with 3 children, Woodson felt distraught when Greene declined to marry her. While he was getting ready for bed in the bathroom, she showered him with boiling grits from a saucepan, resulting in second-degree burns on his arms, stomach, and back that needed skin grafting. Woodson killed herself with his .38 pistol shortly afterward. Inside Woodson's handbag, police discovered an apparent suicide note outlining the reasoning for her actions. A few days earlier, after Woodson had cut her wrists and taken a few sleeping pills, Greene had sent her to recuperate at his friend's house. Greene characterized this experience as a wake-up call to improve his life. Greene was allegedly kept captive at gunpoint by his cousin, who said he owed her money, a few days after he was discharged from Baptist Memorial Hospital Memphis, where he had received treatment for his burns. Greene declined to file a complaint. Greene founded the Full Gospel Tabernacle Church in Memphis in 1976. Greene preaches close to Memphis from his home in Millington. At the 33rd degree, he is a member of the African American Freemasonry wing, Prince Hall Masons. Maxine Greene, the sister of Greene, was reported missing from her assisted living facility in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in September 2013. Lasha, her daughter, claims that Greene has not contacted the family regarding his sister. In March 2023, she remains unaccounted for. Marriages and children. Greene wed Shirley Greene, née Kyles, as his first wife in Memphis on June 15, 1977. She worked at his church and was one of his supporting vocalists. She was originally from Chicago. They have 3 daughters together. Shirley initially requested a divorce in 1978, citing cruelty and irreconcilable differences as reasons. In 1981, she filed for divorce once more, accusing Greene of abusing her domestically during their union. In a counter-complaint, Greene accused her of harsh and inhumane treatment. Shirley said in a sworn deposition taken in 1982 as part of her divorce petition that, in 1978, when she was 5 months pregnant, Greene had kicked her with a boot because she had refused to have sex. She said that she suffered head injuries during the attack, one of which needed sutures. They got back together after she filed for divorce following the event. Shirley claims that as the beatings were too frequent and too severe, they split up many times. At first, Greene denied ever hitting his wife, but in 1982, he came clean under oath. In February 1983, their divorce was finally formalized. Greene consented to provide her child support and alimony totaling $432,800. In an effort to assist other victims, Shirley came out with the abuse she had experienced in 1995 after reading about Nicole Brown Simpson's tale. Greene is the mother of 7 children, 4 girls, Alva Leigh, Ruby Renee, Cora Kish, with Shirley Greene, and Kala, and 3 sons, Chris Burr Sr., Al Greene Jr., and Trevor. By the 1990s, Greene had supposedly remarried. In 1974, Linda Wills, Greene's former secretary, filed a $25,000 civil complaint against him. Wills said that following a disagreement over the amount of back pay she was due for her work, Greene assaulted her and pushed her through a glass door at his Memphis office. Conflicting testimony caused the civil suit to be abandoned, but in 1975 they resolved a $100,000 case for assault and abuse. On Memorial Day in Irving, Texas, in 1977, Greene and his former organist Larry Robinson were taken into custody for assault. Robinson claimed that when he questioned Greene about money he owed from past performances, Greene and his bodyguards ambushed him. They were both given bail to get out of a misdemeanor. Greene faced assault and battery charges in 1978 when it was claimed that he had struck Lovie Smith unconscious with a tree branch. Smith, who had moved, skipped the court date and the charges were dropped since he had not received a subpoena. We thank you for your time and attention. I hope this Albert Leornes Greene information was helpful. Click the bell icon and subscribe to our feed to receive more content similar to this one so you don't miss anything.